I'm John Bishop and you're watching the Redmen TV.
Hello, welcome to the Redmen TV. It's the Uncensored match build-up show. I'm joined by Chris Pajak and John Machin to celebrate the return of the Europa League. Wow. Yeah. So...
tumbleweeds road.
No, it's so bad, isn't it?
This week?
It's such high hopes. Such high hopes for our European season this year.
It's fine, Paul. It's still European competition.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Let's just pretend the Champions League doesn't exist for a few months and focus on the important things.
What, like being in the top tier European competition,
like second tier European football competitions. Look, let's just get it out the way. Europa League.
Pretend your referee seems to love it.
Yeah. Look, let's just get it out the way. Yes. Nobody likes the Europa League. The players like the Europa League, to be fair. Managers like the Europa League. Fans, generally speaking, don't like the Europa League because it's not a very good competition. But we qualify that within it, it's a good competition to win ultimately, and you can potentially win a Champions League place off the back of it. So let's just get into it like it's a game.
See, I don't have a problem with the Europa League. I have a problem with the way we play in the Europa League. If we went out there and beat teams, I'd enjoy it. But we go out there and we struggle against shit teams all the friggin' time.
No, that's a great
and it really depresses me watching it. Yeah. Because if we went out there and beat them 3-0 every time, I'd love the competition, I really would.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you agree. That's the thing.
So long.
It's ridiculously long.
It's like one of those dreams where you can never find the loo and it just keeps on going.
Perpetual, long, boring, white corridor of a competition. You're right. I think that's it. Because I always say, the Europa League for me is a counterintuitive competition. The Champions League, you get to like the knockout rounds and you're like, please let us draw Eindhoven, or please let us draw Bruges, or whatever. You know, just someone who are like, all right, good enough to be in there, but like just got through, or luckily got through the group or whatever. That's who you want. In the Europa League, I want the best teams because we always struggle against the shit teams in the Europa League. Whereas, you know, when we play against big teams, I find it's easier. I think it always seems easier to get up for. You know, when the
fans and the players.
I think this might be different though, because we've suddenly hit form. We've been terrible all season, and we've suddenly hit form, and we're going to start the Europa League.
But the Europa League's like a form dementor anyway. It'll just suck the form right out of us and we'll have to play shit.
We'll find out on Thursday, I suppose. But I just have this feeling which we're going to batter Besiktas and go on from there.
Yeah, I genuinely hope so. I think that you just got to look and say momentum. I know it's somewhat of a myth, isn't it? But you can actually build form and you can build happiness, and we've got a good squad.
Sandcastles too.
Absolutely. Right, that's a go with. After that, that's fine. No, you know, that's right. We're in good form. We're playing good footy. We're starting to win games that we weren't winning 6 months ago. It's another couple of games to be sure, but we should be able to handle this. We've rotated a lot at the start of this season, you know, and now we've got 15, 16, 17, 18 players all capable of coming in and without dropping a level off. So it shouldn't have as much of an impact as it probably had 2 years ago when we were in the competition.
It's true, and I think there are still players that I think that we need to rest. I mean, Phil Coutinho, for one, his form for me has dipped over the last 2 games, but he started the last 17 games in 2 months. Yeah, I mean that's ridiculous. when everybody else has had a break, he's still like the first name on the team.
We've played 17 games in 2 months.
I think so. Yeah,
that can't be right. That's a lot of football.
It's about Christmas and everything, haven't we?
Is he throwing his FIFA games in as well?
Yeah, probably. His games then
he's playing Footy Manager. Go on,
he's been clattered a lot as well in the last week or two, and whereas Sterling has now had a rest to recover from his knocks, Coutinho hasn't had one yet.
But this is it, you know, the thing we're going to face up to is Markovic is going to be suspended, obviously, from getting sent off against Basel. We won't know what the ban is until Thursday. They're having a meeting to decide how long the ban's going to be. So he's definitely going to miss the first leg. It's then a question of how much, if he gets any additional ban on top, because apparently you can't appeal the red card unless it's the case of mistaken identity. So it's not a matter of whether he's getting a ban. It's a matter of how long the ban's going to be. But the point I'm sort of driving towards is you're right, Coutinho needs a rest. But you know, you've got Lallana, who we talked about on the final word after Palace. Needs to start playing a run of games, so we've got him available. You know, Sterling's there, Jordan Ives available for this competition.
Has he been signed in for it?
That I think he counts as like a youth player for it. Like,
just on it, from the 14th of December against Man United to the 14th of February against Palace, 17 games.
Wow, fucking hell. Excellent. There you go. Good on you. That's a lot of games.
That's a lot of games that Phil Coutinho's been involved in.
And he played well in 15 of them. Jordan had probably one of the reasons they brought him back may well have been to play him in the Europa League.
Great experience for him as well if we can get him game time in that, and especially as I say with Markovic not being involved, I've guaranteed to start this game if he is available for it. Quick trivia question then. Liverpool have played Besiktas a grand total of twice in the past. Who's our record goal scorer against Besiktas? Let us know in the comments section. And then put your hand down. You would fucking give it away before we even started filming. Get on me, I was at that match.
I don't normally remember stuff like that.
So yeah, we'll have to answer to that in a moment. In fact, anyone want some bullshit Europa League facts?
No.
Tough. It's on the agenda. Europa facts. This is on the Europa League website. This is the round of 32. Okay. The presence of allow me to rephrase this slightly. There are 7 reigning national champions in the UEFA round of 32, as many as the last 16 of the UEFA Champions League. You go, wow, so that means, just hold your horses, that means it's just as good, exciting, as valid a competition as the Champions League. No, do you want to know who the champions are?
Well, I can tell you the reason why it's not as good, because Celtic are in there as the champions.
Well, yeah. Aalborg, Denmark, Danish champions, Ajax, Netherlands champions,
They used to be good.
Anderlecht, Belgian champions, Celtic, yeah, Legia Warsaw, Polish champions, Olympiacos, Greek champions, Salzburg, Austrian champions. Austria, those world powers of domestic European football. Yeah. So there you go. So proof and stats can be used to prove anything. It's complete bullshit. So there's your bullshit Europa League fact of the week. One thing is quite interesting because talking about this, you know, the validity of the competition. That there are still some decent sides in there. You know, there's a lot of goals in there.
Yeah. Everton being one of them.
Well, Everton have been good. Everton have been really good in Europe this season. They absolutely robbed qualification.
The one thing you know is that you don't want to get out of Spurs or Everton in the next round or two. If you're going to have a good stab at it, you really avoid English clubs if you can.
But looking at there, the team, there's 2 teams that I genuinely fear left in that competition. 2.5 really on history: Roma, Napoli, and Celtic. I don't want, and I know Celtic are not the power they once were, and they've not got a great manager, they've not got a great backing and what have you. But we always struggle against Celtic whenever we come up against them. I don't want to have to play against Rafa at any point ever again.
Not a European game.
Not a European tie. And Roma are too good to be in the Europa League. They literally are in there because Man City pulled that ridiculous escape act in the last game of the group stage, aren't they? So there's obviously still some great teams in there, and Everton and Spurs as well, not to be forgotten. But anyway, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Of course, Besiktas to come first. Who we should be fearful of? That Demba Ba and Slaven Bilic, of course, is the manager.
Well, he's a good manager. He hasn't done a lot recently, but when he was with whoever it was, Croatia, he was. Pretty good, wasn't he?
Beat the Wally with the brolly, didn't he?
And Demba Ba, obviously from last season, he scored a goal we'd like to forget.
Yeah.
And
what goal?
I've forgotten.
Yeah, his name rhymes with slipped on his fucking arse, I believe. But yeah.
Well, did you see that picture recently of Gerrard on his knees? It just shows that Chelsea fans don't know their arse from their elbow.
Hey! So yeah, I mean, Demba Ba is, because we were talking earlier in the season when we were really struggling for goals at the strikers that were available around Europe. Demba Ba was obviously playing for Besiktas against Arsenal in the Champions League third round qualifier, or the player for whatever the fuck it's called these days. Looked a real handful, looked a real threat, decent buy. we could have done a lot worse than make a move for him. He's, you know, because he's one that needs to be watched.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's proved over the last few years, hasn't he, that he knows where the goal is. When he's given an opportunity, he can score goals. So I think we probably should be fearful of him. I don't know whether the Besiktas fans will sing the Steven Gerrard song. I really hope they don't.
Maybe. Everyone else fucking sings it.
Right off. But, no, he's a decent player. Like, I think there's always been concerns over his knees, is it, with him?
All kinds, yeah.
Is that what it is?
He's that kind of player that on the old Chapman games we used to sack your physio to sign. Didn't have to do a fitness test. Yeah, I think the biggest one is the Slaven Bilic factor. You know, he's a poor man's Simeone in some respects.
That's perfect. Actually.
He's a very angry man.
He's a very angry man, but he's galvanising for his team.
Yeah,
and he takes a lot of the brunt of the media. And
he is so suited to Turkish football, isn't he? His angst and anger. It's like Souness was when he went to Galatasaray. You could really see him sacrificing animals on the pitch and planting flags in the middle like you're in Derby games and stuff like that. Like, all true. This is the beauty of Turkish football. It's definitely.
You know what he has for dinner when he goes with Turkish football.
Big one. We touched upon this a little bit in the final word show after Palace. We talked about like Joe Allen, how he performed. It's the injuries to Gerrard and Lucas, Chris. This is now we're entering into this perfect opportunity for Allen and Henderson, and both in different ways, to really prove themselves as Liverpool players.
Yeah, it's true that. I think it's a massive game. If they both start again, just the fact that it's in Europe and they've got the trust of the manager, be it because of injury or whatever, I think it is huge that those who go out and perform on what is essentially a bigger stage in the Premier League. You know, I don't think us fans think it is, but across Europe it is probably, and you know, the players think that, and it'll be important for them, and it'll be a good learning curve for them as well. Yeah,
definitely. I think like Joe Allen, we talked about this at length, that this is his chance. Lucas Leiva's out. We need someone who can fill in alongside Jordan Henderson. That, you know, he hasn't taken those opportunities fantastically, but we showed some real signs in the second half against Palace that, you know, he's not as shit as some people would have you think.
No, he's not. I mean, he's a decent enough player. He's just not the best we've got in those positions anymore, whereas he was when he first arrived. But I think he's nailed on to play. I think, in fact, the team practically picked itself. I mean, I think the only queries are going to be around, you know, does he play Balotelli with Sturridge? Does he play Lallana? Does he play Sterling? You know, those 3 or 4 players up front are going to. He can't play them all. He's got to make decisions about whether Coutinho's left out, as Chris said, or whether, you know, Sterling comes back in. I presumably will play on, you know, as a wing back.
Yeah.
Does Moreno get a rest, or, you know, does he persevere with him?
Yeah.
But I think Brendan wants to do well in this competition, so I think it's going to put out a good sign.
Well, he's got to. It's an embarrassment if we don't make a good fist of it.
The fact is that we could put this to bed in this game.
Yeah.
You know, we get a good result, that could be the end of it.
I think we have to, because it's notoriously difficult to get results in Turkey anyway with their fans, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like I say, I think that we've got to go to this competition. We were talking about the FA Cup, and that will we change things with wrestling? Well, no, because we haven't shown any sides of that. And the fact is, you can't. It's not Brendan Rodgers at this stage now. Given the trouble we've had at the start of the season, he's not going to devalue any competition Liverpool are in. It's too important to him, and he knows that. And he must be thinking as well, looking at it, the players he's got available to him now. The football is starting to play. He must feel there'll be a match for anyone that they come up against in any competition, domestically or in Europe. So I would expect us to go big time for the Europa. And if we don't, you know, and you know, as much as we started the show with it, not great fans of the Europa League. I'm not a great fan of 5:30 football on a Thursday on shit channels with poor pundits. It's been a real problem with the Europa League as a competition. It's not that. It's actually not. It's not all that bad.
It's not a competition you'd want to get beaten in.
Yeah.
You know, simply because we don't need to be beaten by anyone anymore. You know, we've got a good enough team to beat people. But if you're going to struggle to fit in all the games we've got and keep your team, you know, at its best, then, you know, this is a perfect opportunity to get a rest next week, isn't it? By beating this team well, and not worry about next week.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with that. I think that's a fantastic.
And we play City after that second game, don't we? So, you know, it'd be lovely to be able to rest some of our players before that.
Yeah, definitely. And the only other thing, just going back to the point I made earlier, to what Alan, but Henderson, You know, he's been taking the Liverpool captaincy in the absence of Steven Gerrard. We did some Henderson stats. 10 assists in all competitions this season. That's 4 more than any player. While he started as captain, we've played 8-1-6, drawn 2 and lost none. Only conceded 3 goals, 5 clean sheets, and he's had 4 assists in that time. So, you know, this is a big test for Jordan Henderson. You know, he doesn't have that European experience that we've talked about and that we feel we need in our players, and what Steven Gerrard brings to the table. There's only one way for players like that to get that experience: to be in these games, to play in them, and to fucking win them. So there you go. Call that your battle cry. Right, so
I'm playing as many as you can this season before next.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, you know, Liverpool, for as much as like fans devalue the competition, and look, to some extent rightly so, this is how you grow. You sort of draw attention to your football club. You know, you get your UEFA coefficient ranking up and all that shit, but, you know, you're appearing on television, people watch your games in far-flung countries, and we might say, you know, you don't want your Johnny-come-latelys and your glory hunters and all that, like, but it's not just the fans and the potential for all the marketing influx or whatever, it's footballers. It's young footballers growing up watching Liverpool from the farthest reaches of the world on television and being impressed by how we do things. And Liverpool being a success on the European scene is vital to this long-term success of Liverpool as a football club. So, you know, we need to go out and put a good show in. And this, everyone wants to know the answers to the trivia question. So just to remind you, who's our record goal scorer against Besiktas? Chris Page.
Yossi
Benayoun. Why?
He's got a hat-trick at 8-0.
He did indeed. 3 goals for Yossi Benayoun, the most goals that Liverpool players ever scored in total against Besiktas. So big boots to fill. Adam Lallana. Yeah,
no pressure.
Looking forward to it. Score predictions though, Dad? How do you think it's going to go?
3-0.
Okay.
5-0.
5-0. They're going to be horrible to play against, I think, in this game, really. And I'd love us to put it to bed, but no, we won't do it easily. 2-1, requiring us to get an away goal probably at some point in the second leg.
Who's your side?
I would go with the only obvious changes. Comes in for Markovic, Sterling probably for Coutinho. That's it.
Lallana or Balotelli?
If I'd said Balotelli and for Lallana, I'd have said Balotelli and for Lallana.
Are you happy for Lallana to stay then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'd go with that.
I like the idea of it, but I like that being the gear that we step up into. You know what I mean? There's that additional option. We play quite an attacking style of football anyway. I think there's a risk you go too much too soon. You leave yourself open. You wouldn't do all the good work we've done defensively. Why are you thinking Balotelli to start? Would you like to?
No.
Just throw that out there.
Exactly what you said. Yeah, I was just throwing out there. I like that starting. I think Coutinho needs a break. I said that at the top of the show. And do you know what? I wouldn't be too displeased if Lovren got a start.
Decent. Yeah. Okay, I'm not bothered either way. Do you agree or disagree with any of that? Let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up and bid farewell to Redmen TV Towers as well. It's been an emotional roller coaster. Just under 2 years we've been broadcasting from here. We've had it longer. It took us that long to strip the plaster off the walls, which is not something I'm looking forward to doing anywhere else. But yeah, let us know your fond memories. We'll do that. I'll do a little farewell video as well. But just thought those people who don't watch that and you're wondering next week why the studio doesn't look as good. we're going to be moving into a temporary home for the short term, certainly, while we look for somewhere else long term. So there you go. Just thought we'd keep you all in the loop. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Enjoy the match. We'll be round with all post match content. Yeah. Yeah. You all right? Just
happy.
Good.
I'm just wondering whether Dermot O'Leary fucking cleans the plaster off the wall in the studio.
Does he fucking balls? Does he bollocks? Dermot O'Leary with a saw out. Got a lathe.
I think Dermot O'Leary fucking staples wadding to the ceiling in an attempt to get the sound better.
No, he does not. Anyway, thanks very much for watching the show. As I say, comments, thoughts, scores in the comments below. Thumbs up and all that shit. And we'll see you after the match. Cheers.
Needs one of them to step up and like at least he was there in the right time.
And Lovren wasn't shite either.
No, he fucking went in like the right time, won a good few balls, and like I'm happy with it anyway. Big game, we needed to win that, like definitely to push on for 4th.